RPM. I'm going to use plus here and just bump this up as well, just kind of match that. We can see I'm just going to fill that table in. We're not able to go that low of an engine RPM. Probably never going to be able to get that kind of low engine RPM at high throttle. It's kind of an unrealistic situation, but we still want to have our table filled out, and we want to have kind of a smooth table here. What I'm going to do is highlight between 80 and 50 right here and do V, vertically blend that back into the table so we can see our table here is taking shape. We've blended the changes we just made back in here, so it can shift Control C. Now, one thing I want to point out as we're looking at this, we do see if we're looking at our profile, it's going to have this peak here. It has a valley, another peak, and then it drops off here. If we look at our dyno graph, we're going to find the same peaks, and specifically, we're going to have a large peak right here. That's going to be where we're finding at 6,000 RPM. That should be roughly, 6,000. We can see that's our peak right here. That coincides with our peak on the dyno graph. There is another high VE area right here between 3 to 3,500 right here, and if we look, we can kind of see that on the torque curve on the graph, but it's not exactly perfect, but we'll see a very clear indication 6,000 is a high point on our torque curve. So this will give us a representation of about what the torque curve looks like if we kind of looking onto our lines here in our three-dimensional plot, just for reference sake. So let's commit those changes, Shift Control C, and now what we're going to do is add another 10 degrees. We're going to go up to 30 degrees and see if this makes any more change. I'm anticipating it will. These cams usually make power between 30 to 40, their best torque and power between 30 and 40 degrees. Shift Control C. And let's try this. So we're going to fire it up, do the same thing again, and let's just pop into our knock control and let's just look at that real quick. We can find here that knock control is relatively quiet. It's still below our floor that we programmed. Haven't touched my spark timing yet, and we'll see by bumping in another degree or two with once we get done with the variable cam timing, if that makes any difference. A lot of times when we're running, when we go up to our higher variable cam amounts, it's going to be having more cylinder filling. It's also going to be having more exhaust scavenging effect. It's going to be pulling a lot of that burnt exhaust gas out of the combustion chamber, dropping our combustion temperature, which is going to allow us to run a bit more spark timing. So always want to check to see if we can get away with more spark timing when we're making our variable cam adjustments. But I like to make my adjustments first, sort out the fuel, then go after the spark. So let's try this here on our variable cam at 30 degrees. I'll do Control G, we'll get live with the ECU again. And let's try this. I'm going to fire it up here and just do another pull. Throw my headphones on. All right, we'll do Control L, start our data log. Save that. Let's shut us down here quick. Now, I did see that the lambda feedback was going slightly negative up to higher engine RPM, so I'm anticipating that we probably lost some on the high engine RPM. Click Save here. Let's just quickly browse through our log. We can see low engine RPM here around 2,000, showing it's taking out 2%. Right here, it's taking about 1% out. Right here, it's adding a little bit, so we might have saw a little bit of a gain at 3,500. Here it's adding 3%, about 4,000. It's still adding 3-4% here at 5,000. Once we get up to about 6,000, we can see it's going to start to take out fuel. See the lambda feedback's removing our fuel. Let's take a look at our graph and just back this up. So we're going to find that between roughly 2,000 and 5,000, we can see our blue line now. That's going to be where we were seeing this adding of our lambda feedback. It's adding some fuel back in because we're making more torque. But notice at the very high engine RPM here, we can see our torque curve is drastically falling down. The green line was our previous pull. The blue line here is our current pull. We're losing a lot of torque. We can see the power here is dropping off. Now that's normal behavior on the low cam. We're only going to be able to run so much variable cam. Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here, and you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.